Mic check, mic check. 5 minutes to start, mic check. Welcome to the 2026 Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Program announcement from SCIC's head office in Melville, Saskatchewan. I begin by acknowledging the land on which we're gathered is Treaty 4 territory, the traditional and ancestral land of the Plains Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and home of the Métis. Today, Saskatchewan Agricultural Minister David Marit will be providing details of SCIC's crop insurance program for Saskatchewan producers. This will be followed by a question and answer period with the media. The 2026 crop insurance program announcement is also being live streamed to provide additional access to media and Saskatchewan producers of the program details for the upcoming growing season. For media viewing the live stream, you can submit your questions using our email at media.inquiries@scic.ca or through the teleconference line, which those details were provided in yesterday's media advisory. I'll monitor the submitted questions. For media submitting questions, please indicate your name and the media outlet, and I will relay the questions to the minister once we get to that Q&A portion. From there, I will also ensure we start with taking questions from media in-room first, then going to the phone just to deal with the lag of the live stream. A news release is available on the Government of Saskatchewan's website and of course will be available on our website following this announcement. With that, I will turn it over to Saskatchewan Agriculture's Minister, David Marit.
Thank you, Tessa, and good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Premier Scott Moe and the Government of Saskatchewan, it is really great for me to be back here in the Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Corporation head office to announce details of the 2026 crop insurance program. Joining me here today is the corporation's President and CEO, Jeff Morrow. And I also want to acknowledge our industry guests here today from SARM and from APAS. I appreciate the ongoing collaboration with industry, which helps us deliver meaningful program improvements. Together with Saskatchewan's producers, we continue to evaluate, refine, and advance programs to better meet the needs of producers in our province. This shared commitment supports the development of forward-thinking solutions like satellite forage insurance announced last month. Claims and premiums are localized at the township level where the insured hay or pasture is located, offering producers more accurate and responsive coverage. In 2025, over 85% of the seeded acres were insured through a crop insurance program. This speaks to the strong management decisions producers are making. This year's crop insurance program continues to offer reliable protection and responsive coverage to producers. Coverage and premium are individualized to each operation. Coverage reflects each producer's own production records, while premiums reflect their claim history. Producers will receive their crop insurance coverage information in the mail, and it is my understanding they will be going out on Monday. Producers are encouraged to review their coverage and contact SCIC with any questions. If no changes are made, coverage remains the same as the previous year. March 31st, 2026 is the deadline to apply, reinstate, cancel, or make changes to your crop insurance contract. In addition to crop insurance, producers may also consider ag stability, livestock price insurance, and the wildlife damage compensation and prevention programs as part of their overall risk management strategy. This year marks 65 years of Saskatchewan crop insurance, supporting Saskatchewan farmers and ranchers with business risk management programs tailored to their needs. SCIC programs have continued to evolve, offering responsive coverage. Saskatchewan agriculture continues to play a significant role within our provincial economy. I want to thank our province's producers for their hard work and commitment. I wish you all the very best in this year's growing season. I will now turn it back to Tessa, who will moderate the session. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Minister. With that, we've now reached the Q&A, so the phone lines will be open. To begin to submit questions, for those on the line, I'm going to ask you to press *5, and that'll signal that you're in the queue. When it's your turn, you'll hear a prompt on the phone that gives you the ability then to unmute and ask your question, and you can hit *6 then to ask your question. For that, though, I will start, as I see the queue is starting to fill, I'll just turn to room. Is there any questions from in room?
Hello, my name is Regina Bacuda. I'm with CTV News, Yorkton. And my first question would be, how does the program look like given the continued drought conditions throughout the province?
Well, I think the program is still looking pretty good as far as that side of it. Obviously, with the changes that we have made to the program over the past years, it really helps to cushion the droughts that we've had in the southwest and the west side of the province as well. Jeff can give more details on just how that has really worked out for the producers in that part of the province over the past few years as well. But we see that program continuing to work to the benefit of those that have been obviously hit by drought over the past few years.
So for the yield cushioning that the minister spoke to, it is really designed to help to keep coverage relevant for producers that have had consecutive or back-to-back challenging years, like some of our producers in the Southwest. And so what it does is, after the second year of challenging yields, we will cushion the yield to 70%, and for every year thereafter, the yield will remain 70% of what we previously offered. So what it does is keeps the coverage more stable, more relevant for producers that have faced back-to-back challenges.
Thank you. And you mentioned that in 2025, about 85%
I can only speak for the years that I've been the ag minister, and I've seen those numbers increase over the past 5 years. It just seems to be increasing and going up. So it obviously tells that the program is working for producers. So Jeff can probably give you more exact on the numbers, but I have seen increases in the seeded acres.
Yeah, Minister, I think you hit it on the head. It's we have seen some increases. If we think back to about 10 years ago, we were probably at 75% of what gets seeded is insured in the province, and as the Minister said, we're now at 85.
Sorry again. I was talking to a couple of farmers with regards to crop insurance in the past, and they have said that their main criticism, or one of the main criticism is that the premium is getting more expensive, whilst the coverage is being lowered. So, do you have a comment on that?
So, as the Minister said, the premium and coverage is individualized. So the coverage is based on the producer's own yield history that they've proven to grow on their farm. And then the premium, there's a couple of components to it, what's happened in the area that they farm, but also their individual claim history impacts the premium cost. So it is very individualized, and it will change depending on where they grow and what their history has been like in the program.
Thank you. We're going to head to the lines here now, so I'm going to unmute one here, and you'll get prompted that you can hit *6 to then ask your question.
Hi there, this is Alec with All Saskatchewan. I just want to know how much is the province planning to give SCIC this year, and how much is SCIC anticipating they will pay out?
Are you saying what the provincial budget is for crop insurance coming up?
As best as we can know, yeah. I understand that through special warrant spending, there was additional money given to agri-stability as well, but I was just looking to get a bit of an anticipation there, yes.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get ahead of our budget being announced on the 18th of March, so that's kind of when those numbers will come out, is what our dollar value that we will have into the crop insurance.
Gotcha. And I couldn't hear the questions before, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating one, but are premiums going up? We've seen SGI and SaskPower increasing rates. I'm curious, are premiums going up for crop insurance as well?
So what I referred to before was the premium and the coverage is very much individualized in terms of what producers have seen on their own farm. But what I can say is the trend is to slightly lower premium, and a lot of that is to do with improved claims from 2025.
Thank you, Alex. I will open up the next line.
Hi there, Katie Squires with CBC Saskatchewan. Again, my apologies, I couldn't hear the questions in the room, so this might be a repeat. But can you elaborate a bit on the benefits of using the satellite forage insurance program and why it's replacing the forage rainfall insurance program?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Katie. Obviously, the satellite forage rainfall insurance program we did a pilot on it last year. Now it's going to be fully implemented. We found that the accuracy was a lot better. We brought it down to a township where we were using weather station data before. Some of those weather stations were probably 30 kilometers apart. And so then it was up to the producer to pick which satellite they wanted, or which weather station they wanted to use. Whereas now this way, through satellite, we will have a more accurate record, and bringing it down to a township really does help.
Okay, that's everything for me.
Perfect. Thanks, Katie. I'll open up the next caller on the line. I see there's a line open. Okay, I'll move to the next caller. You should get a prompt here and a reminder to hit *6 then to unmute and ask your question.
Hi, this is Ryan Young with 620 CKRM in Regina. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you, Ryan.
Okay, perfect. So my question is, do you guys anticipate claims this year to kind of come more from the southwest or southern Saskatchewan compared to other regions?
Right, I don't know if we ever really anticipate it coming from one specific area. We're hopeful, we're always hopeful that we don't have any claims. You know, I'm just kind of, I'm in that southwest side of the province, and we did see significant rain, some rain last year that really did help. We haven't had a whole lot of snow. We've had some. There has been some runoff for the livestock folks in a good part of the area where the dugouts are full. On the west side, when you get up Maple Creek and north up there, it's my understanding it's still quite dry there. We're still hopeful that we'll still see some good spring moisture come yet. Obviously, in anticipation, you would probably assume that that would be the area of concern. It always is. But we're hopeful that this year the folks out there can pull off a crop.
Perfect. Thanks, Ryan. I'll open up the line for another question.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. It's Ryan Kudrowski calling from Grasslands News. Just a quick question again in the Southwest. I know a lot of producers were saying this will be a make or break year unless there's some pretty big changes to crop insurance. With the back-to-back changes you were mentioning, do you think that's going to help alleviate some of that?
Well, I think for the livestock folks, it could obviously could when we can get a little more accurate on the rainfall for the rainfall forage and insurance side. On the crop side, you know, I'll have Jeff speak to it. I think some of the programs we have or the changes we have made with the cushioning and things like that, it has significantly, you know, improved the program. But you know, I think we could give it more accurate if you look at what the total payout for crop insurance has been over the previous years and what has been really, what has gone to that area. It'll probably really tell you that the program is working in its current format. And I'll let Jeff get into those numbers.
So on the yield cushioning side, I think what it has done is help to stabilize coverage. What we want as SCIC for our producers is to make sure that when they are having consecutive challenging years, that the coverage, we do what we can to keep that coverage stable and relevant so that it's meaningful and provides good protection for them. I think the other thing that we do is on the premium side, on the cost of the program side, we very much take a long-term view to recoup whatever losses have been paid. We have caps in place for premium for year-over-year changes to keep the cost stable as well. And from the program, the numbers the minister referred to, you know, since in the last 5 years through SCIC, about $8 billion has been paid out. And, you know, if you think about some of the areas that were challenged in 2025, if we look at those areas, about $1.8 billion has been paid to those areas. So, you know, a smaller portion of the province with a higher proportion of the benefits, I think does speak to at a high level anyway, the program responding to the areas that need it the most.
Thanks, Jeff. I'll do one more call out for on the lines. Just a reminder, if you have a question, to hit *5 to signal in the queue. However, we do also have some here that have come through from the live stream. So the first coming from Neil Billinger at CJWW. So just looking for a piece on outside of, he's asking for some of the stakeholders here in the room to hear your comments, so I'll cut to you in a moment. But just again, any further on premium and coverage, as well as maybe some of those crop prices.
So I can speak to some of the crop prices. In terms of the cereals, for wheat, hard red spring wheat, $6.92 a bushel. For durum, $7.47 a bushel. For barley, $4.79 a bushel. For canola, $14.06 a bushel. For peas, $7.67 a bushel. And for large green lentils, 26 cents per pound, and for red lentils, 24 cents a pound. Those are some of the major crops and the prices that producers will see for 2026. And for price setting, we do rely on Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada to provide the prices to Saskatchewan Crop Insurance, and those are the prices that we use for the program.
Perfect. With that then, I'm going to turn it over to the industry stakeholders we have in room today just for a comment. And I'll start with SARM. Bill, would you like to lean into the mic?
Certainly. Thank you very much, Tessa, and thank you, Minister Merritt and Jeff, for the invitation and the opportunity to be here today. You know, we're so fortunate in this province that we do have programs like Saskatchewan Crop Insurance, and I guess as producers we can all be somewhat critical sometimes if coverage isn't high enough, but we have to remember that it's we can't farm and survive on insurance. That's not our initiative. So, you know, even though we'd like you know, some premiums to go down and coverage to go up a little bit, we have to be realistic. We are in some challenging times. It's no fault of crop insurance or the government. It's a world economic challenge that we're facing with lower grain prices, and hopefully with resolving some of the tariff issues in the last month or so, that the Premier had the opportunity and the willingness to go to China and resolve some of those or help get them resolved, I think will help, especially in the canola. And we can see canola starting to slowly have some movement upwards. So, you know, we need crop insurance, and it's a good indication when we hear 85% of the producers are enrolled in the program. That speaks well for itself. I have two sons that farm, they're young, relatively young and new to the industry, but they need it for their backstop. And I know when you have any kind of debt on high land prices and stuff now, you know, you have to have some kind of a backstop to make sure that you have some cash flow in case of a total disaster. So we'd always like to see better improvements, but we're sure fortunate to see what we have and a program that's maintained and obviously working well for producers.
Thank you. Bill from APAS.
Thank you very much. I certainly like to echo the comments of Bill there. A program obviously that's very popular in the province. With, you know, the numbers speak for themselves, showing that 85% of producers are enrolled in the programs, or 85% of the acres, anyways. And I think, from my perspective, in a world these days that's very unstable with trade wars and tariffs and, you know, governments and wars and all the weather issues that we've had, it's really refreshing from a producer's perspective knowing that there is a program that's available to us that seems to be working and has been very stable over the years. To have a program that we know we can count on. Obviously, as Bill mentioned, we'd always like to see lower premiums and higher coverage, but for the most part, you know, I think producers are quite satisfied with the coverage that they have for the price that they have. It's they're seeing the value for the money that they're investing. So it's nice to see the stability in the program, and yeah, we look forward to continuing to work with the government to make improvements going forward. Because as we know, as good as the program is, there's always room for improvement. So look forward to that in the future.
Thank you. I've got a couple of follow-up questions here. Just looking, it looks like from Kevin Hirsch and a follow-up from Neil Billinger as well. Just looking for clarity, maybe a soundbite on confirming what are the program enhancements for the 2026 crop insurance program.
Well, probably the major enhancement is the satellite rainfall forage insurance one. Is probably the significantly improved program that we've made this year. Obviously, it's going to really affect the ranchers, the cattle ranchers, the livestock producers here in the province when you can really narrow down. And that's what we heard over the past years is I guess the concern that the ranchers had is picking a weather station that was it was almost like a lottery or a crapshoot that which one you picked. Whereas now, through this system, now it's bringing it down to a township, which really narrows it down to really where your location is and brings it closer to home. And I think it was a great improvement on that side of it, and hopefully we'll see a good uptake on that through the program and through the ranchers here in the province.
Jeff, I know we've already talked about some of those prices. There was a follow-up, though, on just, are the new prices available yet, or where someone could find them?
Yeah, they'll be posted on our website, scic.ca. So the full list of the insured prices will be available on our website.
I have a question here from a Daniel Reach at 980 CJME. Just wondering how the province expects the winter snowfall to affect moisture levels for producers, and if there's any comment on how that might relate to possible insurance claims.
Well, thanks, Daniel. Obviously, we're hopeful for a lot of snow throughout the province. And just talking to the folks here in the room now, it sounds like there's quite a bit of snow on the east side and northern part of the province. I know even down my way, we did see some more snow and fall here over the weekend. Talking to some of the ranchers in the area, their dugouts are full. Obviously, we always can use the moisture. We always seem to get a spring snowstorm either through March or April, and hopefully we'll continue to see that. Excuse me. It's my understanding that the snowpack in the Rockies is quite high, so we should see. Hopefully, we'll see our water levels in our major river systems go up quite a bit. In talking to my folks at the Water Security Agency, they said the snowpack on this side of the Rockies is one of the highest it's had in quite a few years. So that's encouraging on that side. But as a farmer all my life, and the ranchers in this whole province, we always hope for more moisture, and God willing, we'll see that come to the province, and we'll grow a good crop, and the pastures will rejuvenate themselves, and our water levels will return.
I'm going to go back to the phone line. It looks like we have one outstanding question here in the queue, so I will allow Mike, and you can then reminder to hit *6 to ask your question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
It's Aiden Jagger with the Saskatoon Star Phoenix. I was just wondering if you could comment on how much did the Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Corporation pay in taxpayer dollars last year?
I can speak to claims in terms of the crop insurance claims. We haven't finalized the numbers yet, but when we were at mid-year, our estimate was at $675 million, and our premium in 2025 was around $1.2 billion. So, from a program perspective, a strong year.
With that, I will do one last final call for questions. Seeing nothing more in the queue, I want to thank everyone for taking the time today to join us for the 2026 Crop Insurance Program announcement. And with that, that concludes today's announcement. Thanks so much.